Hey, it's Chance Willis. How are you doing? I'm doing my presentation on Dick Fosberry, the American high jumper. And this is obviously the Olympics, and it is November 28th, 2021. So, Dick Fosberry is actually important for multiple reasons, and we'll actually get into this later on in the slideshow. But Dick Fosberry is well known for being an Olympic champion. He led in creating a new technique when performing the high jump. He also managed to win an Olympic gold medal in this process, and later on we'll go over it. But this new technique in the high jump, they actually call it the Fosberry Flop. And when he managed to win that gold medal, he had such an impact on this game, not just by winning the gold medal, or more so by his flop, that he was actually introduced into the Olympic Hall of Fame. So a little bit about the background of Dick Fosberry. Yeah, he was born March 6, 1947. His birthplace was Portland, Oregon. He grew up in Medford, actually, though. And he played basketball, ran track, and jumped. His father drove a logging truck, and his mother was a teacher. His parents were very supportive of his work, obviously. And him growing up in Medford, he also went to Medford High School, which is sort of where his high jump career started. And later on it's mentioned too, but he actually started using his signature flop around high school and in track and field. And actually, every coach that he ran into, they would try to alter his move, not knowing exactly just how good it was, and that later on everybody was going to use it. So the significance of the Dick Fosberry's flop. While Fosberry was in high school, he created the signature Fosberry flop that is now used by all elite high jumpers. This flop was enough to earn him a scholarship to OSU, which later led to him making the Olympic team. When I say OSU, at Oregon State University. Quite the accomplishments. At first, when he was coming on the team, they actually sort of also criticized his little flopping technique, but he was able to make some noise and do some damage. Dick Fosberry's collegiate career. After Fosberry made it to OSU, he left a big impact by being successful in his career. He went on to win the 1968 NCAA indoor and outdoor titles using his new technique. So his new technique gave him the upper advantage over anybody else that was going against him. And this picture right here is actually what Oregon State put up. They're just not remember. It's not remembering him because he's still alive, but it's just showing the importance of what he did for the school, for the program, for the high jump in general. So it's just showing him a little bit of appreciation. Dick Fosberry after college. After winning his titles in college, Fosberry qualified for the 1968 Olympic team. And this was actually right after he'd won the indoor and outdoor NCAA, so he was actually on a roll. And he eventually went on to win the gold medal in this particular event. And if you look at videos of him during this particular event, when he is actually setting records and jumping over these poles, you see that he's showing like little to no emotion. And I think he had some sort of confidence going into this. Like he knew that he had the upper hand, and he just knew that his technique was the best, and which actually led him to be in the center on that platform there. And you can see the guy on the left does not look happy. So a little more about the Olympics in 1968. Fosberry jumped 2.24 meters, breaking the world record during this Olympics. The Olympics were held in Mexico City, and it was also the Olympics that Tommy Smith and John Carlos protested at. So I don't know if any of you have heard about this, probably, but in 1968, actually, yeah, you have because we went over in class, but in 1968 is when Tommy Smith and John Carlos got on the pedestals and raised their fists for Black Power. And it sort of blew up the Olympic world. There are a lot of people who obviously agreed and a lot of people who didn't agree, but we're not going to get into that. But going back to Fosberry jumping the 2.24 meters, breaking the world record, when he did it, he sort of had a sense of ease, like didn't even come close to touching the bar. And so that's what basically led everybody to sort of figure out that this guy was on to something. And led to most people changing their technique. Dick Fosberry after the Olympics. In 1972, Fosberry did not make the Olympic team. Many of the world's best high jumpers used his jumping method at the games in West Germany, and many of those people who got into West Germany used that method against him. So it's sort of a bittersweet moment for him because he had this huge impact and just created this whole different technique within the sport. But when he was trying to qualify for this Olympic team, at that point, everybody's even now because they have the same technique. There's no, not unfair advantage, but there's no like just upper hand and element that fuels him. So the years following, Fosberry's technique became the event standard. And because, like I said, when he was breaking records, everybody said, oh, well, this guy's onto something. And then they went on to it. And it really separated the true athletes from the others that didn't exactly, I won't say like weren't athletes because you're obviously going to the Olympics and competing for the Olympics, but it just separated who was on top. And in 1993, Fosberry was elected to the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame. A little extra information about the flop. The flop consisted of Fosberry going over the bar head first and landing on his back, and this gave him a huge edge over the competition. And then you can see in this picture exactly how it was performed. So really, when you look at it, you would think, well, how in the world are these guys doing it? And I actually, in some different videos, you see how they just jump over it straight up. And obviously, this method's just allowing you to clear a lot more length than normal. Many clown him for his unique style, not knowing that would become the regular style. So that's a little bit a slap in the face for those people that clown. Present day Fosberry. Fosberry has done a great amount for his community. He is a past president of the World Olympians Association. He has served as a vice president of the United States Olympic and Paralympic Association for the past 8 years. Currently serves as treasurer and founded the Idaho chapter of Olympians in 2007. He is past president of the World Olympians Association. Dick has also been teaching at clinics and track camps around the world for over 25 years and is an honorary chairman of the Simplot Games held in Pocatello each February for the past 35 years. So to say that this guy has done more than enough for his community is an understatement. He honestly did more than enough when he just gave everybody that new technique to flourish off of, but you can see he went above and beyond to keep on providing for the community. A little bit more about him. He raised a family in Ketchum with 2 stepdaughters. He has 5 grandchildren. He is married to Dr. Robin Tomasi and enjoys working on their 20-acre farm just south of Bellevue, growing hay and caring for their horses. So obviously, it seems like he's living a good life. He seems happy in all of these pictures. But yeah, that's a little bit about Fosberry and just how much of an impact he had on the high jump. So without Fosberry, the Olympic high jump probably wouldn't be what it is today. And then here's a little bit of my reference slides. So thanks for listening.